If you're wondering if there is no sound, if anybody already joined and you wonder if there is no sound or something of that sort, everything is working. Hey, Brad, what's up? What's up? Number one fan, of course. Number one. Fan is such a weird word. I need to come up with a different term. Number one supporter. Definitely. That's far better. Sound, I do have sound, so I'm not using music because I sort of got a notice from YouTube, so number one banana. Yep. Um, and so there's no music. So sorry. I'm just sending out the thing, and I'm getting started and all that. So yeah, no music today until I get the whole thing sorted out and figured out whether it's fine for me to use or not fine. I don't know. I don't know. So for now, it's just gonna be annoying old me talking to you, saying things like that, like. Nobody posted anything since yesterday. Really unbelievable. Right. Oh. Right. Let's get started. No music. I know. At least sound should be good, right? I'm not just talking to myself. And screen is on. All right. A second. Woo. Third. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry there's no music today. It's just that I got a weird notice from YouTube and I'm not sure whether it's okay for me to use the music. I've heard other creators got a notice similar to mine, although the music is supposed to be legit completely to be used on YouTube, but I don't know what's the deal with that, so I don't want to take any risks. So no music today, boys and girls. I'm so sorry. But let's get into this. Let's get the show on the road. We today have made quite an impressive move, all in all, quite an impressive day, no matter how we flip it. We definitely were far more bullish than I've expected momentum to last. We were able to go all the way to the top. In fact, technically speaking, we made a new all-time high, if you really, really want to be tremendously precise about it. What am I in all logarithmic? Wait, regardless of, I should be seeing it. Where am I? Oh, right, I'm on 1 minute. I'm a moron. So let's switch to 5 so we can see it properly. So here's today's high, just for you to have an idea where. You see just a tiny bit above this 56669 line, and really that was the line where we hit all-time high. So technically, come on, where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'm not going too far, or am I not going far enough? Yeah, I'm not going far enough. Here it is. I'm moron. Here it is. So that's the actual all-time high prior. So 5669.67, as you can see. So technically, we actually made a new all-time high today that exceeded by $1-ish almost, and all a bit of more than $1. Hello everybody. Hello Danny. Hello Just. So, and then we traced right below it. So it's kind of, but then again, we didn't really see this happening altogether. We gapped up. The gap was closed just now, just earlier. As I was actually waiting for this gap to close before I go live. That's one of the reasons why it took so long. Right now, we definitely are testing 56.16. You can clearly see that. That's what we hit off of, which we know where we have it from. It's the previous support from that gap. All right, so that's what we have here on a 5 minutes. Let's get things, let's get that stochastic RSI in. So that looks rather bullish right now, right? Kinda. We can, I mean, that's what it looks to be like, if you will. The best case scenario for really, really squeezes the bejesus out of it. Then again, still bearish on the 30 minutes. So, given that, well, 15 minutes, if we do this really rapidly, pretty much retrace back down, just slower. A lot negativity, 45 minutes, and now we're finally getting to the wonderful interesting time frames. There we go. 1 hour, of course, is very bearish, turned over and is continuing. Hello Christoph, hello everybody. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that great blah blah. Although I think, as usual, we'll probably have the usual culprits here, nothing all that special. I'm not gonna be surprised if we have our regulars here. Thank you for reminding me. Here you can see the famous snow mitten pattern, apparently, or fugly face pattern. Very bearish. This is when this is where we're starting to get serious. This is where time frames really indicate for us a longer duration movement. So whether we like to admit it, again, this was all a breather, just like I expected it to be. We can see that on the 45 minutes. We can see that on the 1 hour. In other words, boys and girls, expect this session potentially can get even wilder than it is. Although I would argue that the smaller time frames show that we have some form of a retracement upside, so it's not going to be straightforward. But then again, towards the end of the session, we might see even further drawdown. Now, we're doing 4 hours. 4 hours, still very bearish, but not yet full swing. We haven't really started the correction yet. So given the factor of how long this can proceed, this actually can proceed throughout the entire session of today, bringing us back, staying within these sort of highs that we know from before, maybe hitting it back up a little bit, maybe making it back to median, sort of somewhere in between there, maybe making it to 5, 6, 4, 8. It is really, really confusing today. I'm not going to be lying. I myself am surprised by the momentum we got today. That definitely was made us go a bit higher than I expected. So we definitely outperformed today already. So with that volatility expecting tomorrow, I think all of this is an expectation for tomorrow. I did say that today things might pop off, but I didn't really didn't really think that would be the case. I really thought the market will be rather tame, or if anything will result with more downside, which we are now, well, seem to be having, but temporarily so. We don't know how this is all going to pan out because the daily still has not turned around. Well, I do argue that in this case, I actually thought we're going to flip over. We're going to already start seeing that flip over action. We're not going to exceed and actually go into overbought territory, which we are on the border of. But given all the negative momentum that we have, I do think once we're going to see that 1 day and 4 hour play out, this will turn around as I expected, right below that 80 resistance line, if you will. Okay, so bearish, we know that. Nothing really has changed on the weekly. In fact, it seems like it got a little bit more steep. The curve is steepening to the downside, giving it a little bit more bearish potential. That is that. Now, once we've done with this stuff, I can go back to small time frame, follow up on the price action with you boys and girls, and go a little bit through the chat. I know it took me forever to go live today, so I'm trying to run through this. So if we have any questions, feel free while we're watching the price action work itself out. How did you learn to do TA? Wow. I don't know if you really have time for this story. I started as, I'm going to try and summarize it and keep it short. I started as a junior with a very good company, which sadly things did not pan out for me there. Then so I was sort of forced to move forward to other companies slowly but surely. I was not satisfied by being a junior, more so talking about things I didn't feel comfortable nor confident with. So I ended up learning more. When you transition from company to company, if you do it right, you have the potential to progress if you do it right, and I've done it a couple of times, and through my progression I also learned a lot. I spent a lot of time studying on my own, chasing the analysts, chasing the senior account managers, learning as much as I humanly could. I basically put myself through hell. I put myself through self-forced university, if you will. Of course, I am Taylor. In fact, I have to. I don't know. I don't remember seeing you here in a while, so I would say you may be behind. You're probably. You probably last time if you've heard I had 1800 as triple Q. I now have 2100. I have 2100 as triple Qs, and I'm planning to buy more. I have a little bit of plug as well, which is kind of doing okay today. Not gonna lie. I mean, no. You think that's conviction? If my funds would have been in order right now, and I wouldn't have to dedicate part of my liquidity to other things in life, I would probably be owning literally twice more than that, if not more. More actually, about 4,500 as triple Qs. That was the initial plan, but life is life, you know. So uh, assets can be down temporarily. Next level, I think I told you, join us on Discord. I'll gladly talk to you about it. You'll be able to ask some of our other members, my conviction and my thought about gold. I predicted gold to go up when we were at about 2000, ish, if I remember correctly. That was the range to go towards 2400 to 2400 and above. That was the range I've predicted a while back. Of course, I advocate if only buying gold, in my opinion, only actual physical gold, not paper gold. Paper gold is bullshit. Um, so, and it definitely exceeded my expectation temporarily. So, but even if gold is on a temporary slide down, it doesn't mean it should be um, looked upon as that's it. It made its run. No, I would argue that gold only now starts to see the potential real application of it. I would argue on the technicals it looks horrible right now, but if you look further out, you realize that, well, look, it's not going to be straightforward. You might, for example, see something akin to this, right? That's kind of what I'm suspecting that the market is planning over here. But yeah, that's my prediction. But gold, I think, has more room to run. And that's that. Boys and girls, please don't rush it, or otherwise I'll be, as always, all over the place. I'm gonna try and keep up with the chat, but please take it slow. If you see I haven't got to the questions at the bottom, don't post really complex, long questions. Not because I'm not, I mean, feel free, but it's just gonna be harder for me to keep up. The one thing I would say about gold is that it is actually usually sells during the downturn, contrary to what you might think. What do you mean, Gene? I'm confused. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, right. So the during. Oh, okay, right. It's mhm. Physical gold and paper silver. Pro tip. Thank me later. Brad, why? What? I mean, we will talk about this later. I'm curious. Um, what else there? What do you feel is the most probable bear retracement level when this correction is complete? EG 35% trade. Uh-huh. Okay, I see. Um Wait, you're talking about not gold. You're asking about the market, Husky. My prediction is 44%, which gives us the 61.5 retracement level. 61.8, sorry. Brain, derpy. Physical gold, right, we were there, right. Florine K, how do you typically trade those highly leveraged equities like I look, well, these are meant for, first of all, the typical length of your trades often which from sidelines and cash. Look, the S triple Q is not normally a position I take. I used to look at it purely from the technical standpoint to give some analysis to friends of mine who used to trade it back and forth, right? But there are very precise, particular times that S triple Q is a tool for a very particular job. Right now, I started buying. I started buying it at around 19, thinking that from there it can go as low as 15, and so I'm gonna DCA into it. We dropped. It's kind of, if you break it down to levels, that level between 19 and 15 is a level within itself, and the level we're in right now, that is the very next level. That's between 14 and, well, 7. It's a bit of a wide range. Quite annoying, I know. And so I DCA'd into it. Right now I'm sitting on the low 12s, and I really don't mind, because my expectation is, again, is once it runs up, runs its course, I'm gonna sell it. That's it. It's not like I'm gonna stay in it forever. It's a very particular play with a very particular intention. You estimated yesterday a correction, 20% chance that you would be wrong about the recession following Munger approach. What would happen in that 20% scenario? Good question, Danny. Wow. Well, a lot of things. That's a very long answer. And it's not a singular answer, there are a couple of answers. Danny, Discord. That's a question for Discord. I don't mind, it's just gonna take forever to answer. Всем привет, Murat says. He says hello to everyone. I usually use the chain for Qs rather. Yeah, the guys, that's kind of how usually it's played, but now we're at a very abnormal situation, which I thought originally gonna be avoided. I thought the Qs will not be a valid position. I thought the Fed will do their job, so the Qs will not be a valid position this time around. And then as we started going, I concluded the Fed completely are off the rocker, and so this time around is the time to play the S triple Q. Although naturally it's an option play, which the guys, the community members that are more expert in options trading, which is Tim and Arnon, those are the guys who deal with options, and so they used to use my technical analysis to trade these very short term, basically in and out. Yeah, no, Florian, it's a very specific tool for a very specific job. If we didn't have current conditions, I wouldn't be even playing it this time around. Like, I literally thought we're gonna be able to avoid it. The Fed were supposed to do their job, and thus all the S triple Q trade would have been irrelevant, and so I wouldn't be even doing it. I started doing it because I started doing it too late, not because, well, too early, too late, not because I thought that of the trade itself, but when I started seeing that the Fed are effing up, and from here the path is only downwards. It became inevitable, if you will. Give me a sec. Pardon me, boys and girls. Sorry. Yeah. Last time I did well during 21. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think people overestimating the cutting. Well, it's not just the cutting pace, Florian. It's the conditions that were in that brought about the cuts, if anything. Which I understand why. They all have a portfolio and naturally a bias towards wanting the market to go up and not correct. Which I'm bullish on on the grand scheme of things. The market is naturally bullish. The market inherently, overall, over time, will correct. Everything will be fine. It's just going to take us a handful of years still. And I wonder whether they're gonna, you know what really is gonna, like, really weird for me, whether now it becomes clearer and clearer as we go. So whether, even if they're gonna drop or wait until elections, which sounds to me moronic because that's a long time to kick the can, which I'm not sure how they can do that. But and I don't know if the market will inherently initiate a sell-off if tomorrow they do cut altogether. Like, we're not sure we really are at a very confusing turning point, a junction that is very weird in that sense that we don't know whether the election results or the timing of the election will be the trigger of everything, the catalyst, or the actual cuts, if that makes sense. I just connected. Talking about tomorrow will be up 3-4% or will down deep. Murat, really good question. Give me a sec. I'm gonna get to your question, Murat. 25 comes out on 5. Boys and girls, I don't know whether it's gonna be well. Look, let's look. Okay, so because you're forcing me there, obviously, if 50, that means they're really in a rush and they know they're behind. Okay, if that's gonna be 50, which I don't think that's gonna be the right way to start. I think they're far smarter than this. They will start with 25. Want to see what the 25 will do, and then accelerate if need be. I don't think they're going to start with 50. And if they start with 50, that's a very bad sign. That means they know that things are really bad and they are forced to do that. And in fact, they've already been postponing it for so long, it's like they're overdue. I'm sorry to say, it's like their pants are already wet, if you will. They already peed their pants. It's not like they're rushing towards the toilet. They already peed their pants, if you will. That will be a good, not good, that will be a strong indication of, but I'm not certain that that's what they want to convey, so they will probably avoid doing 50. They will probably go with 25 regardless of. 25 is the most likely, in my opinion, but again, if 50, that's just a really bad sign that they're really behind, and they know it very well. Or will they, again, do nothing altogether? And if they do cut, whether it's going to be, the market might not even react tomorrow. We are at such a weird state. Even Murat, again, just to that. Also, I myself, to your question, I thought today was able to see through the momentum, the structure, what we're getting is far more. I thought that it's going to be far more likely that we're going to open up pretty much with a tiny gap, break back down, closing the gap, and have quite a down day, right? That's what was my expectation. We pretty much got it, but we got it only after this rally, if you will, tiny little rally, and only then we broke back down. We kind of ended up similarly to where I thought, maybe slightly higher, no problem. But the moment, this is like a fuel that was stuck in the pipe and suddenly made its way to the engine and came out of nowhere. So that just goes to show how the market can throw some, monkey wrenches at your wheels as we go and surprise us, even though we have the technical tools to let us know, how the market and what the market is doing. So all in all, I would argue that tomorrow should be a down day, at least from the standpoint of how the technicals are looking, right? Because we just kind of ran through them. You can see you have this structure on the 45 minutes and we don't have that much time before the session ends. You have that on the hourly that definitely cuts into tomorrow's session inherently. You have that 4 hours which is waiting to burst. So we are not necessarily full on bearish, but we're just about to become. And enough so to be far more bearish, close the tiny gap we have left over at 5,600 right there. I don't know if we're gonna see 55 tomorrow, but that's what seems that the market will do easily with this. And maybe this is indicative enough to say 55.555 and the 55.06. I mean, that easily speaks for all that, right? If you will. Right. Now that we've covered that, Judy, hello. Hello, Judy. Hello. Overall, I think the Fed has done decently with the market exception. Well, market exceptions and maybe flat years board index with a lot of opportunities. 50% bear stearns moment. Yeah, I mean, not 50, but yeah, close to, yeah. I mean, you should join us on Discord. I'll be able to break it down. It's not like they've done a horrible job, which is weird. They've done this weird mix of things, but they should have done a better job. They were keeping on track until a certain point, and at some point they just veered off and started doing nonsense, which made no sense whatsoever. It is almost like shooting themselves in the foot. That's just like the whole thing didn't make sense. They should have gone all the way to 6.25, 6.5 if need be. F it, even 7, stifled it all down, finished it. By now, we would have actually been seeing bullish market. Right now, we would have been actually already by now done and seeing bullish market. SQQQ trade would have never been a thing. Recession fears would have never been a thing. It would have been bad, yes, but not recession. Bad. It's a very long chain of events that lead up to where we have found ourselves, and there were so many turning points where they could have gone and on a different path, and literally just it's just madness. I mean, literally, this could have been avoided. Maybe I'm the more. You see, maybe that's the where I'm a moron, right? And I think it could have been avoided, and the Fed went through this scenario and said, you know what? No, this is it cannot be avoided, and if we're gonna cause pain, it's gonna be just double pain for no good reason. So we're gonna prolong and stretch the pain as much as we can. That's gonna be better. Maybe. There is that scenario. We do have to remember that we kind of are asking the Fed to pick up the poop from its clean end in a way. Like, it's always going to be a bit problematic. They never have the really, like, no matter which choice they're going to have or which path, we're not going to be happy with it no matter what, and always blame and say, well, the other path would have been better. Right? We're like the complaining kids that are like, oh, that's so not fun. Well, there is no fun way to do this kind of thing. I'm sorry if I'm getting a bit emotional. Yeah. Even long term are bearish. Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now we're going to be bearish, but long term bullish. Very correct, Murat. You understand the principle. The principle is as such that these corrections are actually very natural. It's just that we can say they're coincidentally, wink wink, coincide with things that that are a fundamental event, or a fundamental story, a fundamental condition, right? Again, if it's geopolitical, if it's well, a black swan event like what we had, or the ripple effects and you cannot avoid these. The ripple effects will come. It's not like you can throw a stone into the water and expect just one ring of ripples. That's always going to be, a lot more than, yeah, that's just the politics, correct. No, I mean, no. Well, I'm not. Well, first of all, I would argue that we're not the moronic type. In fact, the people who discuss and debate all these topics. But I would argue that maybe I mean, I am part of the people who, don't see the sort of the outcome, and I'm blaming the Fed for doing a bad job. Well, in reality, I would have probably been unhappy in both scenarios. I just think that I would have been able to be more objective to see that they have done I don't mind feeling more pain, but coming at the end, making the finish line closer, if you will, if that makes any sense. By drawing it out, I don't think necessarily we are. This time around, I think the politics played too much of a part in this. Or maybe that's just geopolitical conditions in general, because it's not just the foreign policies of the U.S. that screwed this situation up. It's not just that. And whoever thinks that the U.S. is to blame for all the troubles, I mean, why don't we be fair and try blaming actual people who we should be blaming, like the Iran and Iranians and all their tentacles, and the Houthis, Shmutis, Lebanese, the Hezbollah, and all the Hamas and all that crap. Why wouldn't we blame them for actually causing the mayhem, right? Why do we say, well, America is not dealing great with the terrorists? Why don't we say just the terrorists shouldn't be there in the first place? And America is doing whatever the F they can, which is difficult enough to keep order in this crazy world, we're not even mentioning all the mess that China is causing to Taiwan, and China is causing mess to everybody. They really are being the bully in the region. It's not like Taiwan is the only one suffering from China. Let's be frank. Yeah, no. We are supply. We don't forget supply chain, oil, which today is. Yeah, we're bounced. We made the gap. We closed the gap. Those who know. Not a big surprise. Closed the gap. Done the whole thing. Now we're here. Okay, well, not a big surprise. 70 is still, like, we're at the lows right now of oil, which is bananas to think that 70 is the lows of oil. But then again, it used to be bananas to think that oil will go negative, but it did. So, uh, you know what bothers me about the whole Iran thing is how the people are like, no, we're peaceful now. Oh, if you're that peaceful, then take out your management. It's about time. It's about time you guys stop running around like headless chickens and saying, oh, we're not to blame. Do something. They cannot be running around and tell us, you guys cannot be hurting the management because you might, hurt some innocent civilians here. Right, but we also cannot tolerate this shit for any longer anymore. This is bullshit. Iran is a threat to the entire world. How aren't we seeing this? These people are goddamn mad. Well, the government, if you will. It doesn't help that the people are running around and say, we're peaceful and this is not our fault. It doesn't help. Do something. People run around and say, oh, Bibi is this, Bibi is that. Ask us, the Israelis, how we feel about Bibi. We are grateful. The sane people here in Israel, of course, there are plenty of people who will argue differently. There's always the insane bunch. Most of us are grateful for having Bibi. Grateful. He's our Trump. He is the best thing we can have. I'm not saying he's the best thing since sliced bread, but he's the best thing we have. God forbid. God forbid. Oh my God, it would be so bad. It would be so bad if we lose him. That would be so bad. Привет, жена. А Жана. Здравствуйте, Жанна. I hope you're not trying to say жена and you just wrote it very, very incorrectly, but because in Russian there's the word wife is жена and there is a name Rana, which is yeah. Wait, am I even writing? I hope I'm reading it correctly. I don't remember Russian all that well. I used to remember. I used to know entire tomes of Lermontov's poetry by heart. Now I don't remember any of it. All right, boys and girls, what are we doing? Questions? I mean, we kind of got what we've expected. We just got it through, you know, it's like eating through the ear. It's like going to New York through Alaska. Is the chat dead? Am I? What's going on? Boys and girls, questions? Otherwise, here's NVIDIA. No surprises on that front. We have this. No big surprises there. We know the levels. We know where we're going, what we're doing. That's not a big surprise right there. Here it all is. So we'll start accelerating to the downside, making our way towards 200, 196, 197, 196. That's on Tesla. So far we know 8.4, 8.6 really, but I mean 8 to 6, and when the shit will really hit the fan, it's going to be 4. Apple is testing that range and the ceiling we spoke about earlier yesterday. At 217. Oop. That. So, and more downside, of course. Apple will be going lower. Leo, what about them? We spoke about them on the Discord. Definitely not a bad idea. Given everything, it's not NVDS. It's not a bad idea. I mean, you do you. There's nothing I can tell you other than you need. NVDS is not predicated on any technicals. You need to understand it's going to be predicated on fundamentals, right? So if you get the fundamentals, you believe in your story, you think it makes sense, sure. Greg, Pakistani are not the brightest. You think I'm the brightest? I'm a moron. But Iran just attacked with rocket because they had terror attack. They are crazy. First of all, next level, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter where you're from. Pakistani, Hindu, Shmindu, American, Israeli, Arab, Russian, Jewish, Chinese, French, doesn't matter. None of it doesn't matter. I've traveled a little bit as a young person. I got to visit Europe quite a bit. I got to see around a little bit here and there. I through the industry, through my work, I got to talk to a lot of people in lots of places all around the world, and I can tell you the dumb people. Every culture, every people have some dumb people and crazy people. It has nothing to do with Pakistani or Iranian. I've met brilliant people from all countries, from all places of the world. all sorts of people. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with how you're being, what's your environment, how you're being raised. If you're going to be raised from day zero to hate somebody and be hateful and spiteful and all that, inherently, that's what you're going to be, right? If you choose a different upbringing, that's not what you're going to be, right? It just kind of depends on you. And I can tell you that, Iranians are amazing people. We have plenty of Iranians here in Israel. Some of the smartest people, in our community, they're no different. They can be on the highest level, on the medium level, it doesn't matter. They're no crazier than anybody else. They are Israeli, that they are Iranian, but Israeli. And at the end of the day, these people just literally tell us and explain to us how and what's wrong, what's broken with Iran right now, and it's simply the government. So we cannot be running around, classifying all of Iran, oh, they're crazy. Or we cannot say, oh, Pakistanis are stupid. That's such a wrong thing to say, man. I mean, that's not how I feel about things. Like I said, I've met all sorts of people from everywhere. I do have a very simple approach. Don't be a hindrance on society. Don't be something that is causing net bad. It's a pretty simple equation. As long as your society is something that is net good for the overall global society, good, that's what it should be. Otherwise, it should be fixed. Are you a big reader? I don't know. Last time I checked my height, I was only 1 meter 70 something. 72, I think. Not that big. Also, I try to stay slim. I mean, depends on what you're talking about. That depends on what you're talking about. I mean, I do read. It's just that I do read a lot, but not necessarily books per se. Some books, yes, no. Discord. That's a Discord hangout kind of question. Beast. No, I'm just me. Sure thing, Hannah. Sure thing. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm any awesome than anybody else in the world. Everyone are awesome potentially. It just depends what they choose to do with their potential. If S&P drops from now on, would you say we had a double or triple top? Ugh. Ugh. Actually, Chob, that's a really good technical question. I would argue neither. Really. Christoph, thank you very much. Yeah, boys and girls. Those. But although I don't know, Christoph, we'll probably have only our own here, so only the regulars. Still, though, I mean, yeah, smash the like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Why not? If you have not yet. You see, I'm sorry for getting stuck, Chubb, for so long. Look, it really depends for how long you're gonna sort of how long you draw out your perception. You can almost argue inherently that this is a triple top, right? It's kind of this weird thing because it's obviously not a head and shoulders. Oh, Arnonsky is here. But then again, if you zoom out far enough, you would argue that it's neither. It's just simply, it's a completely far more complicated harmonic pattern and structure that have been repeating itself for the last 100 years over and over and over again. 16 likes, hit the button. Yeah, useless, thank you very much. God damn it, I hate your nickname. Arnon, brother, welcome. Yeah. Brother Arnon, indeed. Where was I? So I would argue it's neither, really, but if you really, really insist and you zoom in, you can even see the three tops, kinda. So, I mean, but that's only on the zoom in. And then, it really depends how you look at it. If you're really, really objective about the things, you'll probably look at it from the monthly standpoint of view. So it's just it's a turning point. And this turning point, this range, what people oftentimes miss because memory, because people are people, let's not argue why. People are people. They will simply perceive this as a singular point, especially focusing mostly on the bodies of the sticks, if you will, or worse, they will simply not see it in this way. They will simply look at it this way. Hence, they will perceive it as a singular point. So you see, it doesn't matter. For what people will perceive as a double top, triple top, any of these, you'll have to have this. And that just means that you're looking on the smaller time frame. You're going too granular. Yeah. Might be a sort of a cup. Gary! Gary, if you cut a bus in half, right, do you call half of it a car? A cup and handle is bullshit. Let me just say that out loud here. Cup and handle is just the inability of people to read harmonics properly. That's what it is. If there's a way to drive Greg nuts real quick as a cup and handle pattern, no cup and handle. Forget about it. Why? It's over here. That's it. That's how it's gonna be. That's it. It's gonna be done with this. No, it's not a cup and handle. It has nothing to do with this. It's Yeah, where's your cup and hand? It's all gone suddenly. No cup and handle. No cup and handle in this house. No teacup, no poop cup, no nothing. It is wrong. Look, Gary, again, there is a more complex structure there. It's not a cup and handle. It is just the people's inability to read the actual harmonics. Okay? For example, this is a cup and handle for you, no problem. You want to see how I turn it into an inverted head and shoulders? Here you go. Is it still a cup and handle or is it an inverted head and shoulders? What is it? You see, if you're unable to see that this is a shoulder actually, and combining it together and saying, oh, it's a cup, that's your inability to recognize the pattern. The pattern is not at fault here. No, Hannah, it's not funny. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Bucket and lightning. No, guys, you're confusing. This is, you don't understand what the market is doing here. You see, if you remember, those who've been here on the previous lives, we've done we've had a house pattern. This, boys and girls, this is a mansion. This is a mansion pattern. It's just being still built. You see, it's a mansion pattern. It's a big, big, big mansion. You see, now we're not just drawing houses here. We're drawing, you see, this is a mansion with a garage and another garage and a garage on top of the house and a helicopter pad and a submarine and or it's just an inverted head and shoulders. So yeah. Foaming situation. Next level. That's because you're doing good, good black coffee, probably. It's all foaming. Question, boys and girls? Questions, questions, questions. Before we completely go off the rocker here. Well, we got to retest again. Time being perfectly right. 5616, which we're very well familiar with. Oh, Roblox. Whoa, that one. Wow. Oh, I didn't see that. You actually want me to check out the ticker next level. No, sure, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, wait. Christoph, give me a sec. I mean, Roblox. Actually, I forgot about Roblox altogether. Sure, let's do that. But let me check. What is that you want? It's. I'm just gonna copy it just to be sure. Yeah. Okay. Oh, bummer. It's new. Okay. Oh, bummer. Hmm. 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 Oi. Um. That is not good, sir. That is not good. Of course, it's gonna be looking like a buy because it's goddamn all so sold that it's the technicals are going all over the place. They say that pharmaceuticals and healthcare is gonna have a nice run up soon, but I'm not sure if I agree with that fully. Okay, I look. This is one of those FDA headaches and all that. I'm not. Look, there's a reason why most analysts try to avoid the biotech, healthcare, and that sort of sphere of things. And it's more of an not old school. So it's very traditional sort of play, but this is also for people who it's like almost like a gamble. It's like cup cup filling. What? I'm farmer guy. I like bio. Uh, I mean, look, your less earnings were not good. It seems like you're basically going in and out, but you're losing money, a lot of money, very rapidly. They will need to come up with a breakthrough real soon. Otherwise, it's a very problematic sector. You do have a lot of potential gain here. I'm just not a big fan of the sector. It's something you see these sort of stocks. This is risk on. Like I would rather make sure I buy this only if I have my entire portfolio set up as I wish it to be, and I am seeing potential, good deal, success in trials, that sort of stuff. I'm seeing actual physical signs that they might break through because we know when these sort of biotech plays play out, they play out amazingly. They just, go to the stratosphere. Exactly, Christoph, very good. It's one of those things that I will have to do so much research and asking so many people about so many things until I actually understand the story and I'm comfortable to invest in the company. I might as well spend half of the energy and just buy something I'm far more confident, knowledgeable about, and certain of. It just makes more sense. You see, I kind of was able to land my point. That's what I started stuttering. You see, because that's the actual reasoning to why I would see it the way I would. Okay, so that's that. Um, Now, I mean, look, you are going to have an unpleasant time before you're ever gonna have a good time with it. Basically, it seems. I think you're gonna drop all the way back to that. What is that, like 229-ish area at some point? Maybe two, which is gonna be two straight up until you do that. Shoot back up, retest, and potentially only then transition, retest to a higher range. It's not gonna be straightforward for you. Yeah, there's more of that gap to be closed, you see. So it's gonna do that, then draw down. I mean, it's definitely gonna test, you're definitely gonna test this. Or this, that bow section, if you will, and the whole thing. Which is here. This is it. And this area is gonna be not fun for you as well. But this is gonna get closed in between, subsequently leading to this. Yeah, you're not up for a lot of fun. Like, this is gonna be painful before it ever gets better. Yeah, and that's just bullshit. You're pretty much, you're at the bottom. You're scraping the bottom anyways. All right, chat. Lots of cash. No FDA unlocked their trial. Okay. Check cap. Remember that one? Yeah, good one. Uh, wait. Roblox. I knew I'm forgetting something. Okay. Right. Right. No, there's nothing new it's gonna tell me that I don't know about it. Right. Not even for a short one. That's actually looking very good. I hate to admit this, but this is looking good. It has. That's obviously going to be no thing. That is going to be reversed here. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. So you're probably prone to go for another correction into this channel before you actually break out, make it back to the previous channel, the one that is above. God damn it. Just kinda. You get the idea. Oh, shit. Nah. So, but that's going to be also not straightforward. It's going to be down, up, touchy, touchy, down, up, down, up, down. That's gonna be like, yeah, when you do that. But you have upside. Here is that. That's starting to just overdrawn, of course. It doesn't see that, but that's just the next channel over. Yeah, you're gonna have another bottom before you actually go up. That's your Roblox. That wasn't too difficult. Wait, what did I miss? Not of cash. And so no gap to 5. No gap to 5. Uh, you have gap down first before. No, that's not how next level. Come on. Um, actually, Danny, um, it's to simplify. Look, when you learn about it, that's the people who are not really the experts, if you will. The real experts had completely different names and a different approach to the whole pattern thing. It's a whole brave new world out there, if you will. The last 20 years have been a big change to the market. Um, yeah, and if you look prior to, you're gonna learn the jargon was very different. And the more old school and more professional, in my opinion, the more traditional you are, and the more you're gonna use the traditional jargon. And subsequently, but that's because you have the knowledge of the actual thing that's going on. That the people are making up all sorts of weird names for bullshit. Cup and handle. Sorry, I had a cup and handle cough. Yeah, sure. Let's wait. Grep. Were you trying to write Greg, or is that like an actual ticker? That's obviously not a ticker. We ain't looking at that. And if it is, we don't give a shit about it. This UK-ish. Sorry. ASTS. I'm sorry. Sorry, excuse me? A what now? Okay. I mean, ugly, but still. Wow. Okay, that's actual. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so you're gonna be going a negative wedge here, so you're definitely gonna be dropping back to this, subsequently eventually breaking out of this one. You're gonna be moving into this wedge, basically that's the thing here. And you're gonna be doing this. This is your, you are doomed to get like back to your 10 to 12s. Yeah, you're very doomed with this one to go down. It is in fact already like I draw this out. That's not really how long it's gonna take. I kind of took it too far, but you already are 1 second away from dropping back down to 24, retesting it, reconfirming it from the bottom. Probably the next drop is gonna be, it seems to you, for you like this, sort of retesting it from the bottom, then breaking down, and then the rest. So that is you. All right, that is. Christopher, are you talking about Roblox? I'm assuming they're looking for some short-term weakness to retest. Very short-term. Okay, well, what is next level? What is a buy? When you're asking, is this a buy? What are you asking about? Sorry, you got me lost there. Good question, Chob. On most assets, that's actually very. The consensus is about 80 to 90% of all gaps get closed. But it really has to do with the assets. Certain assets don't have that rudimentary rule to them. Some assets like don't care at all. It's kind of like you're gonna see either the assets either close most of the time, all the time, or never. Kind of like you almost never see the in between. It's very rare to see. There are assets such as the Vex that gaps are intolerated and just being closed very rapidly, and don't stay alive for a long time, if you will. But that's just the nature of the asset, if you will. S&P also doesn't like gaps altogether. At the end of the period they get closed. Um, so or there are assets that's just gonna see Swiss cheese all over the place. About the ticker STS, I see, I see. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be buying it yet. I would be waiting. I would be waiting for it to correct significantly and only then buying. ASTS is not a buy, in my opinion. What are we doing? Let's look at this. Oh, look, we actually went green. We're slightly above open. Well, I mean, what obviously what's going on here is a very simple thing here that we're, battling these things. So that blue line, let's call it that blue line. All right, so that's that. You can clearly see it. Husky, Russell 2000 moves in tandem with the S&P. Everything we say about the S&P is relevant to the Russell. I know people. We had this at some point. I had the SPX Russell and Tesla and Palantir overlaid on a single chart. They are all moving in tandem. No, I don't work for an investment bank. I used to work for various brokerages. At first, I actually wanted to work for an investment bank, but then I learned that working for over that period. I mean, well, at first I got into the industry. I didn't know what I wanted. Then I learned the industry. I learned to understand the market better and better. And with the years, when I became eventually a senior, I thought about going in to work for an investment bank, and I realized how boring it is. First of all, it's going to be very difficult for me for the lack of a diploma, because it's a requirement, which doesn't really mean, like, I know I spoke to a lot of investment bankers. You would be surprised. There oftentimes it doesn't work the way most people perceive. You often have the head analyst, who's the head honcho, and everybody else are basically just extensions of that person. And it's a very boring environment. Let's just call it that. It's just a boring, unpleasant, not fun environment. And I realized a long time ago, I don't really want to work for a bank. I do prefer the bank myself to trade with, right? But I don't necessarily want to work for a bank. It's actually horribly boring. Maybe one day divisions will be, things will be different. And I have start building on automated trading. What do you think about automated trading? Don't like. I have a lot of thoughts on that. It's the general. I'm not a fan. But then again, I am who I am, so it would not make sense for me to like automated trading. But then again, automated trading is good. But when you are an institution and your bot, costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, yeah, sure, I would trust my money with that sort of bot, and still I would test it to death. Only then I would trust it, actually. So, and some companies technically have bots that are even more expensive than just. I mean, it's just the spread is different, but they own companies to make their software, so their bots technically cost them millions a year. But it doesn't matter; it gives them hundreds of millions. How do you find your fees investing through your bank? Acceptable. Acceptable. I get various perks. I get really good service. I'm okay with that. Again, as you can imagine, I chose to trade with a bank knowing that there are fees and all that. I'm absolutely fine with that. How are you trading? How are, not you, I'm saying, plurally speaking, how are people fine with trading, when they have no fees, but their data is being fed to the prime brokerages that basically are the ones to kill most of these portfolios? I don't understand. I prefer the bank. It's stable. It works. I always get service. No issues. No headache. I pay for it a little bit. No problem. I'm willing to pay for quality. Quality always will cost a little bit. That's fine. Perfect, Joe. Perfect. Banks are the best choice. Trust the person who worked for brokerages. Think about it. Who was both a junior and a senior. Although junior is just a glorified salesperson. Just keep that between us, boys and girls. Just a glorified salesperson. Does a broker with a banking license count as bank? So, Christopher, are you being a smart? What are you? I mean, yeah, sure, right. Again, you are talking about the big boys here, right? That's kind of their structure. They are basically brokerages with a banking license, or vice versa. However, you want to, like a bank with a with a trading license, which I mean, all of them have is just a special one. Yeah, yeah, boys and girls, it's not a secret. I'm not one of those. Like, if any time you join Discord or something, and a fake me contacts you and starts offering you brokerages, that's not me. I will never. I myself trade with a bank. Why the hell? I would not ever advocate for a brokerage, unless it's like again, an investment bank brokerage. So I'm fine with that. I hate interactive brokers platform. Their actual platform is trash. Although I've heard you can connect it to TradingView, so that kind of makes it fine, I guess. But only if that is true. Otherwise, interactive brokers is trash. Sorry. And various issues, I'm assuming. Traded not executed in time, and sometimes amount was missing from. Yeah, it's all. Look, I don't trust me. Don't trust brokerage. In fact, trust me. Don't trust anyone. Don't trust me either. Balance incorrect. Trading. Yeah. No, brokerages are steer away from them. Christoph says he got headaches from IBKR. Oh, there you go. I just don't like the platform. It's very uncomfortable. It's not user friendly. It's yeah, none of that stuff. I think you can have something similar with TradingView itself with coding, and you can actually get into the code stuff. And I mean, yeah. So as far as I know, I would not recommend a broker. I would recommend bank. Again, if it's a bank brokerage, no problem. All of the good ones regulate. Make sure the regulation is intact. I would not recommend a broker. I wouldn't recommend a brokerage. A bank, brokerage bank. Yeah, sure. Uh, Preferably, again, that depends where you are. Yeah, that depends a lot. I cannot give you advice which bank is best for you. Um, but again, it usually is the go for the major players always, always go for the bigger players. It doesn't matter which country you're at. Swiss. I'll have to look into that. Sorry, not an expert on all the Swiss banks. Although we used to work with them as well. Switzerland. Yeah, that's a complex one. You will really have to do some digging. But then again, Swiss banks, most of them will be good. Go with the major players. Go with the bigger boys. That's always the best solution. Go with if you, let's say you have the three major banks, right? The 3, 4. Look out of them, whichever one has the most convenient platform or offers and that sort of thing. It's pretty simple, but still stick with the banks. In the US, we all know the players. We all know who you should stick with. Let's see. Okay, time. We have time. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a market close live. It's so late right now. I'm not sure if there's a point of doing a market close one. We've almost at this stage we almost kind of got to hang out and see the market close almost at this stage. Although today's gonna be, you know what? Because tomorrow is gonna be a crazy day anyways. I'm not sure I'm gonna do another live today. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure right now. I might if the market will get really really crazy. If we're gonna, I'll tell you what. If we're gonna end up being closer to 5600, right, to the actual 5607 there, 5600 gap, I might do another live. That's how we're gonna go about today. Right. Boys and girls, love you much. You all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, whatever you have, wherever you're at. We know what we've been expecting. Yes, we got a little bit more of a rally than when we thought, but overall, the market corrected to our expected levels. Well, not yet fully, but we know that is coming soon, or at least so we perceive. And that's it. That's it, boys and girls. Let's just sit and wait, because we kind of have already, we know our, well, what we expect. Just now watch and play, sit and watch it play out. Right. Pardon me. Yeah. All right. That's it. All right, boys and girls. Sorry if today's live was a bit all over the place. As I said, I kind of started late. I myself slept in late and all that, so a bit of a wonky live, but no big surprises for us. We kind of knew all the levels. We know about what's going on. We understand why these processes happen. Nothing is straightforward. Yeah, we broke down to the 100 level, broke back up to the 118, retest 110, just to break down to 110 again. Test. That's what we're seeing right now. That's it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Next level. You are welcome. Pump and dump a week out. It looks like, yeah, pump and dump. Yeah, it looks like what the market is kind of sort of doing. Pump and dump, pump and dump, pump and dump. And people are conditioned into the buy the dip thing, so, which I was warning from earlier. All right, boys and girls, that's it. See you on the next live. Bye bye for now.